story of the desert father Macarius is truly amazing. He started out as a camel driver and moved to this region of Egypt in the very early 4th century, initially to eke out an existence as a smuggler of this stuff. This is saltpeter. It's otherwise known as potassium nitrate. It's a precious mineral found naturally here in the Nitrian desert and prized highly by the ancient Egyptians who used it in the process of mummification and by the Romans who used it in making glass. But there'd always been something a bit different about Macarius. As a boy, he built himself a shack near his house as a place for personal private prayer. His friends even nicknamed him Pida Yugiran, which means old young man, because, well, he just always seemed older than his years. Macarius married young, but was tragically quickly widowed. And then, when his parents also died, he gave all his possessions away to the poor and became a hermit on the outskirts of a nearby village. He lived simply and ate only herbs and pulses. And Macarius really gave himself to prayer. He made a little bit of money weaving baskets from palm leaves, but that was all. His peace was shattered one day, however, when a pregnant teenager named Macarius as the father of her unborn child. The locals seized him and they hung pots around his neck and beat him, processing Macarius through the street in shame. He didn't say a word to defend himself. The girl's parents then insisted that he provide for their daughter, and Macarius began just working harder to try to give her what little money he could. Eventually, she went into a long, protracted labor, and the baby just wouldn't be born. After several days of distress, in absolute desperation, she confessed that she had actually lied about Macarius, and then she named the real father. Stricken with shame, the entire village came to beg Macarius for forgiveness. But instead of feeling vindicated and exploiting the moment, Macarius simply upped sticks and fled here to these hills, searching greater solitude. This is one of the marks, I think, of Macarius' life. He hated attention and adulation, and fearing the praise of man, consistently sought silence and solitude instead. One of the most famous stories about his life underscores this point. One day, a demon tried to attack Macarius, but found that for some reason it couldn't hurt him. "Why am I powerless against you?" the demon screamed, before realizing it's your humility. That's why I can't do anything against you. Humility may not be a virtue we talk about a lot today. If anything, we put people who are proud and self-confident and self-assured on pedestals. But Macarius, and actually all the desert fathers, considered humility essential in their battle against sin, the world, and the devil. As stories like these started circulating, people began trekking out to this region in search of Macarius, wanting his counsel and his prayer. Others, wishing to emulate his life of prayer, built themselves cells near to his. And so it was that a ramshackle community began to evolve in this unlikely place under the loose leadership of Macarius. They didn't have any shared rule of life, but they did gather twice a week on Saturdays and Sundays for worship. And this is the surprising origin story of how this unforgiving region, formerly known as Sketis and today as Wadi el Natron, was first settled by a man called Macarius as a place of prayer, and how such a massive monastery comes to stand here today, still praying 1700 years later. Perhaps the popularity of these desert fathers and mothers seems strange to us today, but I suppose it's really not that different to our contemporary fascination with gurus and extreme personalities, social influencers, lifestyle coaches, whose lives and words attract literally millions of followers and even die-hard disciples. In spite of his humility, Macarius' influence grew so much that eventually he managed to offend the emperor himself in a dispute about the Nicene Creed. And in punishment, he was banished to an island on the Nile River, where he quickly discovered that the daughter of its pagan priest was seriously ill. Macarius prayed for her, and she was just instantly, miraculously healed, whereupon the islanders renounced their idols, converted to Christ, and built a church. When word about this miracle reached the emperor, he revoked Macarius' exile and permitted him to return to Scetis, where thousands of monks turned out around here to welcome their hero home. And here Macarius remained for 60 years, dying and being buried here at Wadi el-Natron in the year 391 AD.